It is May 7th, 2025. These people will learn to leave me alone. Absolutely will learn to leave me alone. I go into Shine to get my hair done. Okay? Idiot comes in, looks at me, goes to get her hair done. Oh, no. 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 So, the lady that does my hair, I started in how on April 19th, the FBI called these people dumb. Couldn't believe how dumb they are that pulled this with me and tried to pull it on them. I said, it's the FBI, for God's sakes. I said they were in Hartville, in the flea market. These people are so dumb, you would not believe how dumb they are. She calls the FBI hotline. They immediately walk into an FBI office, confess they're illegally monitoring her. They already know she called the FBI. And trust me, nobody ever fell for the stunt of a dirty doctor taping you unaware before confessing our crimes and sitting on it until Dave wanted a divorce. Nobody fell for that. And then it sounded mechanical. We knew it was them and not you. And that tape of weird with yourself, we knew it was photoshopped or washing yourself in the shower. You could tell they photoshopped it. And they photoshopped everything. But if they're going to be that dumb to come in and confess what they were doing to her, we told Agent John to go up to that church and act as dumb as these people. And tell on her for calling the hotline. And then act dumb as those people so you can find out who's all involved. And trust me, everybody knew how not funny it was when the other group showed up and said they worked for a drug lord. And David hired them. And we all know that gunshot night happened and none of this is funny. The investigators about died when she asked them for her informant money to help her kids. Officer John said that she was willing to die to save her children. And she didn't know the two older ones were in it with Dave the whole time, trying to kill her and cover it up. They were even framing her youngest son, and he didn't know anything. That Dixie thinks she can steal money, extort money? Said they all do. Well, they're going to learn real fast. Trust me, when we get ready to take care of this, we'll take care of it real fast. We got that girl under police surveillance where April 17, 25, Michelle walks out of Sheetz in Hartville. While Carl goes in to go to the bathroom, I set out my car, got the window down. I could see her in the side rear view mirror walk up to SUV, and there's other SUVs driving around the parking lot, and when she goes to talk, they stop. Talk to the police up there. They said, how stupid were you? Or how dumb were you telling that guy on March 27th, 25 that she was part of trying to have me killed when they bashed in my head or leave me incompetent? Okay? It didn't work. I have a dent the size of a ball peen hammer. It should have killed me. It's by the grace of God. I'm still here. Okay, where we got that girl under police surveillance saying that she was part of trying to have her killed when they bashed in her head. And I told that guy that the reason she doesn't know who that doctor is, it's not one of hers. He works for them and they had lied. Police said we all could go to jail for this. And I really liked him. All those SUVs, as she started to talk, stop. Well, that's when the FBI showed up. We got her under police surveillance. Okay? Now, if the FBI didn't want you people to know they thought of you as dumb, they wouldn't have said a word. That you never fooled them. Remember Lighthouse? Melissa's church made fun of FBI Agent John. FBI Agent John fell for the stunt at Taser for it. Oh, come on now, that FBI agent fell for it. It was only a stunt. You're kidding. You mean that FBI Agent John actually fell for the stunt at Taser 4 that were only a stunt? Screaming out in Walmart 62, June 7th, 23, 10, 11 in the morning. Stark County Sheriff's and men in uniform. We got those people making fun of Agent John for falling for this. The whole thing's a mess. So, the FBI wanted them to know they thought of them as dumb. And they always knew. And it sounded mechanical. The voice alternator. Where it was them and not you. We always knew it was them and not you. See, that's what the police said. We always knew the Taser 4 was them and not you, so we never said a word. They always knew. It was a drug cartel. The Florida drug cartel that worked for Judge Peters. They were at Faith Family Church. In 19 break-in, they were the ones hurting me. They worked for Judge Peters from Florida. Okay? 3,000 people seen Michelle and all of them. They seen them out at the mall, other places. But they were in that church breaking it. Even Dixie knew Judge Peter. And Michelle. I asked her in like 2020, 21 if she knew about him. Yeah, I know about him. I said, did you know about Michelle? Yeah. I said, the young blonde girl? Yeah, I know about her. I said, you know about Judge Peters? And I said, oh, I found out about him. He was arrested in 22 with 100 human traffickers. The FBI got him. Okay? Now, so if the FBI didn't want you to realize that they think these people are dumb, it's the FBI, for God's sake. You act like they're a bunch of country bumpkins. And you act like the police are too. You act like they're a bunch of country bumpkins. And it's the federal government, like they wouldn't know. It's right on Google. It's illegal for a doctor to tape you unaware because of privacy. It's like Nixon back in office. He got impeached. He almost went to jail. You can, and doctors are definitely not allowed to tape you unaware. They go to jail for that. It's not admissible because it's underneath the right of privacy. See, like they said, these people are dumb. They cannot ask you dirty sexual questions either. So that goes into sexual misconduct. They're there for medical. I'll tell you what, some doctor ever talked to me like that, I would have walked out of there and said, you sicko and pervert, I'm going to report you. Anybody would have. Okay? So, and a doctor cannot disclose that they see you. What they seen you for. What is that to them? Because the HIPAA and Privacy Act. They go to jail if they do. 1 to 5 years, $250,000 fine, and zoom up to $1 million. Oh, I made sure I said that to that girl today in the hair salon. The other girl was just looking. And I said, I'm to the point of first and last names. First and last names. I'll take care of it. First and last name. There's HIPAA violations. I'll turn them over to the state and I'll sue them. I can sue them for up to $1 million. Okay? It's not one of my doctors. They lied. He works for the Florida Drug Cartel. They announced that in 18 and 19 they were using the doctor for the Florida Drug Cartel. And the one where they said they were relocating people to Florida for a doctor to put people in a room and run experiments on them. That he was even using experimental drugs. That's why I was losing so much weight. And they told people if I died, nobody was to care. They're like, really? No one's to care? Yeah, sure to care. Stop listening to the serial killers and stop acting like nitwits. You know, and Michelle, on March 27th, 25, I stayed up and I went through everything. After I got done, some guy said, I'm glad she stayed up and said all that. I told Michelle I never want to speak to her again, and yes, I'm good with it. She had confessed to me she was part of trying to have her killed when they bashed in her head or leave her incompetent, and it didn't work. And the reason she doesn't know who that doctor is, he works for them, and they had just lied that he was one of hers. Then he found out through Dave that his girlfriend from before me had made him marry me so that she could use my insurance and get a job at my dad's factory, and she could use the insurance because she didn't show ID back then. The other woman who used my insurance was Dave's girlfriend from before. And he could give her extra money. My whole marriage was a scam. Okay. He even got all that family that was walking around saying, it offended us 15 years ago. My father killed our kid in himself by speeding and running through a stop sign, hitting us. I killed them both. It's my father's fault, but Strange called her a faker 6 months later, so it offended us. Like they said, it had nothing to do with them. It didn't even concern them. They just lied. So people would help out. It's the case of the dumb people that lied. Okay? Well, he's told investigators, they talked about it April 3rd, 25, down in Sugar Creek with the lady, heavyset woman that walked out before me, was talking to a guy that walked out after me, and how they were being told on for that doctor not being one of mine, but works for them, and they had lied. Then Michelle confessed again outside Sheets under police surveillance. April 17th, 25, in the parking lot, loud enough it went across the parking lot. That's when the FBI showed up at the 19th. They got her. Okay? Said we got that girl under police surveillance, that she was part of trying to have her killed. And that doctor was never one of hers, and they had lied. And he actually works for them. Okay? And I was talking to that girl about all that. That other girl said that. Yeah. And I was, I said, what makes me so mad? These people are so dumb. I said it's right in the Constitution. No judge can sign over your money or assets. You have to have a jury trial. 7th Amendment. 14th Amendment, no money, no assets can be seized when it due process of law. You have to be tried. And the 7th, it makes it illegal for a judge just to sign it over to them. First Amendment, you have a freedom of speech. 4th Amendment, even the FBI would go to jail for being in your home outside that protected custody case with statements. I've even talked to police, prosecutor's office, and criminal attorney. And they have to have without a conflict of interest in a court order because of the right to privacy. They got a right to remain quiet and a right to an attorney. Okay? We live in the U.S. And I said, these dumb idiots that fall for that drug scam. And I said, that I told her about Bill from the Freemasons. And how the Freemasons in 19 had confronted him. And they're saying it's still him. That girl's just like looking at me. It's like, oh, hell no. You will learn to leave me alone. You will, it's not like they don't know this. Like the FBI said, they were already illegally monitoring her, and they already knew. She called the FBI. These people hacked the FBI case and sold it. And now, on like April 25th, 25, up in Summit Mall, I was up there, some drug cartel girls walked by laughing. Nobody can say a word to her. Michelle told on them for that doctor not being one of hers and that they had lied, and they were giggling. And then when the guys off in the distance, my brother had walked into, I think it was one of the eyeglass places, and Carl and I are still out in the main area. And heard this guy off in the distance. You tell that guy Will up there he was pulling the scam off to get into the drug cartel. That it was ruined because Michelle told on him. That doctor wasn't even one of hers and that they had lied. You tell them we said to take care of her. That's why I'm like, Michelle, you need to get to an FBI office. You actually have information where they're keeping people, anything about these people, or even how they hack the case. They may put you in a witness protection program. 95% of them are criminals. Because they have left several threats on you. Okay? And saving lives, I know what they did to me. And if they had me in a basement or my family member, I'd want someone to tell. And if it saves lives, go tell them, see if they'll put you in a witness protection program for information. They do it all the time. Like I said, only 5% are victims, 95% are criminals. They get $5,000 a month. You're supposed to get living, housing expenses, a medical card, and immunity for life. It's better than those people, they kill people. And they sell people. Dear God, some of those idiots were threatening to shave her head. And do other things to her. Later on. But that girl in there, when I was going how dumb they are, and I was going through laws, I said, you wouldn't believe the amount of idiots that fall for the scam. And it takes a very low IQ idiot to fall for it. Photoshopping and washing drug confessions or using a voice alternator. And, and I went through what Dixie had said on the 6th. I said, I was so mad at her. I said, she's such a nitwit. I said, my new husband, we went over to my other daughter-in-law's. And she said, come on in, Dixie, and the girls are there. I said, are you sure? She said, yes. Well, Dixie always said, I can't have you around because I'm scared of Dave and those people. Here, she's part of the whole thing. She stands up, walks into the kitchen. Nobody thinks it's funny she married that old man. Lady investigator said that she can extort all kinds of money out of the government for me and Melissa. Okay? And, okay, now the surveillance laws. You can never set up button cameras in someone's home. That's cyber stalking. Totally illegal. You can, if you've not drugged somebody, harmed them, coerced them in any way, you're sitting there talking, you can hit record on your phone. That is legal. It's a one-party state, okay? You've got to make sure you've not done anything to that person, okay? But it is totally illegal for a doctor to tape you unaware. It's a right to privacy. They never can. They go to jail for it, okay? Dixie's like, this is April 6, 25, said, some lady investigator said, even though I gave her permission to tape me before of knowing of Melissa's Mean Games at Pretend. And Dave breaking of the gunshot night. Even though I gave her permission to tape me before and tape me then, that lady investigator said I can extort all that old man's money. So when he dies, she gets nothing and I'll get it. And she can extort me and Melissa all kinds of government money. The attempt of extortion out of the government is 20 years. The attempt of extortion out of an individual is 5. And once you give somebody permission on tape, you have nothing to say. Plus, you don't have anything to say because it's not illegal. Just to hit record on your phone if you've not done anything to that other person. You can tape a conversation. It's very legal. But it has to be like with a cell phone or something like that. Can't be with button cameras. It could never be a doctor. Like they said, these people did not realize putting the word doctor on it, how illegal that would be. The doctor goes to jail regardless. And if a doctor knows of a crime and he doesn't report it, as far as there may be a situation here, I need you to look into it. Can't go in details because you can't disclose anything you say to them because they have been privacy acts. But they have to give a tip to the police if they go to jail as an accessory and lose their license forever. So think of their scam, how dumb it is. Okay? Plus that idiot's in there with people saying they're trying to kill me because some idiot called me a faker. And he said I'm working for them and not me. Yeah. Not a thing trustworthy out of that one's mouth. Well, Dixie's saying, you know, she said, well, Melissa said, that lady said that she could extort all kinds of money out of the government for her. And the chief of police up there gets special permission for people to break in other people's homes. He so does not. To tape them unaware and do things to them, drug beat, rape them, sell kiddie porn, a little kids going party, he does not. Drug them for fake confessions, Photoshop washing, no, he does not. Which, the way they described it, makes total sense because she's a dingbat. See, it takes dingbat stuff off of this. Okay? And she's going to extort all kinds of government money for me and Melissa. And, now I told you I have 3 weird memories for the FBI. The sound of footsteps, marching like sound. A white man's arm with a white shirt, gray pinstripes, and a syringe coming at me in the room going dark. I thought it was a nightmare. I had, one time it felt like my back was being ripped open to my sternum, and every cell in my body was screaming in agony. Till all I could hear was my screams. And I couldn't see and I couldn't breathe. An immense amount of pain and wailing. All I could hear was my wails. It was dark and I couldn't breathe. Dixie, poor Dave. Poor Dave. Had to sit in the basement and listen to her have wild sex with other men. Poor Dave. I don't blame him for what he did to her. Jen's like, we want nothing to do with this. A lady investigator showed up and asked us if we knew of the tapes before. I told her we knew nothing, we're not part of it, nor do we want anything to do with it. She asked us if we knew of the tape of Weird With Yourself. I told her we were not part of this and we had nothing to do with it. She had giant bruises all over her. I seen them. That means nothing. She said, oh, yes, it does. And I realized with what she's been saying, what was going on up there, and we want nothing to do with this. I talked to her about the U.S. Marshals kid getting roofied twice, taking a drink in the room, going dizzy and black like me. And she don't know what happened to her. She moved out of the area for safety. Mike, being in the middle of his second beer, doesn't remember anything. Showed up outside his apartment, came up to me, didn't know how I got home, didn't know how I got money in his pocket, didn't know how he changed his shoes, didn't know what was in a box with mustard in it. And I'm like, check your bank, and he did. He took $100 out, but he didn't know the rest of anything else. I'm like, go sleep it off. I'm like, oh my God, he's been out sleep driving all night. Looked at me plain as day. I used to be a New York cop, and you're pretty. You want to go cuddle? I'm like, go sleep that off. He remember saying that to me. He laughed and laughed when I told him. He had went back down to that bar, and during the second beer, he started telling people he's an astronaut. Nice to some and swore at others. Now, I want you to think about that. He didn't even remember leaving the bar. My coworker, Dar, took a drink and she don't remember anything else. Her friend said she acted a little happy, went back to talking, acting normal. Group of people they didn't know. She left with them, didn't think anything because she's still talking normal. Found herself in a puddle of pee. She don't even remember meeting them. And she got herself homesick, throwing up, da-da-da-da-da. And found out 2 months later she was raped. And she said, it's not that I don't love my son, but I don't know what happened to me. And, you know, I was talking to Danny and Jen. They said, what was your friends thinking? It don't matter how you're talking and acting. We all know you're sleepwalking with those drugs. How could they let her? That's why you go with friends, is so you don't let you leave with other people. So you're not taken. Okay? I'm so proud of Jen. Here they've been blaming them for everything, and they knew nothing. I asked them on Christmas Eve of 22 if they knew any of this, and of button cameras in my home. They said no. And I said, did you know about seeing me washing in the shower to make me look weird with myself? No. You didn't know they were taping in the bathroom? No. I said, did you know where I had the orange, lemon, grapefruit sized bruises all over me? Yes. And I said I almost was passing out, including in front of the neighbor by the second week, and it kept happening? Yes. Did you know they were drugging, beating me, and telling me to say weirdo stuff? No, I thought you were working too hard and bruising too easy. I didn't think about it. Oh. That's what John meant. The things she's been saying. I understand what's going on. And we want nothing to do with it. That's what John and Josh should have said. Not for Dave and his psychotic girlfriend. We'll help kill her mom for money. You want to run a drug scam, a photoshopping and washing and drug confessions? We'll help steal our money for Dave and his new girlfriend, Dad and his new girlfriend. That's part of the drug cartel. They should have looked at him and said, we want nothing to do with this. Absolutely none. You want a divorce? You pay your alimony. You're the one cheating. But Dixie is saying, poor Dave had to sit in the basement and listen to me have wild sex. He listened to them rape me in my wills. Who opened the door and let him in? He did. I'd come in from working. I'd wash my hands, make something to eat and drink, go use the bathroom, wash my hands better, come out and take a drink, and it was a Diet Coke. My room and the room would go dizzy and black. Wake up with orange, lemon, grapefruit-sized bruises, severely infected till it's pushed open and down. I pee. When I peed, I'd scream. It hurt so bad. I thought the dirty well water I was showering in, because we had to get a water treatment system. We had high levels of iron. It made it orange. We had it tested. You have to wash your hands. You have to take a fast shower. But bring bottled water in there to drink and to cook with. Never seen her talk to anybody. Never even had neighbors in my home. You talk about scary movie shit? Or wake up with injection mark and orange, lemon, grapefruit-sized bruises. Throwing up, almost passing out. Severely infected, going to the doctor. What on earth is wrong with me? Do you fall? No, maybe you're coming anemic. Give me iron pills, muscle relaxers, pills and creams for the infection. Stuff for throwing up and migraine headache. I hear him being drugged, beaten, raped. They had me so drugged up. I was supposed to go somewhere. And there's trees at the edge of the driveway. And they're far apart. I go to pull and I can't even focus how to get around through those trees. And I backed into a tree. My insurance had to pay for it. And I kept thinking, what's wrong with me? Here I'm being drugged, beaten, raped, and basically kidnapped in my home by the Florida drug cartel. That's who they hired. Okay? It's a drug scam. This whole thing is a drug scam. Okay? So I'm going through everything, and that girl's just looking. I thought, keep looking. You know? And I'm going through how illegal and how stupid these people are. God, I was so mad. I came home and I picked up Carl, and I thought we had to pick up the guys from high school. So we went over, picked them up, and here they had canceled their extra stuff today. So I went through McDonald's and I got everything for them, you know, the sandwiches, fries, and drinks, and dropped them off. Went in Acme. Some ladies came in, we're glad she said something. Get tired of the police acting like they don't know what's going on. These people, Selma Logan, the first month, they already have it. They know the FBI called them down. They knew it was a Florida drug cartel. If the FBI didn't want them to know that they never fooled them, they wouldn't have said a word. They said it at Hartville Flea Market in front of people. Okay? That's where, on the 26th, outside Hartville where I work, there's that guy that would talk to that Indian family. Had him on his speaker on Bluetooth. And he's running his mouth. Oh my goodness. We found the tape of the FBI calling these people dumb. And how dumb are they pulling this for on them? That they never fell for the dirty doctor of taping her unaware before, blah, 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 blah. And it sounded mechanical, and they knew it was them. And they knew the weird with yourself was photoshopped or showering and washing yourself in the shower. And they got that cartel up there saying this whole thing was an initiation for some guy named Will to get to join them. I bet it's that creepy Bill from the Freemasons. He's the one paying everyone to follow around and say and do stuff to her. And they're actually threatening to take care of Michelle. We're all glad she told on them. Look at all the things they did to her. The FBI knows you sold the login. They just wanted to let you know they know. And they made it public. So those people already knew that before I said it. They sold the login. It's just back away from me. So FBI, where even these people, oh, they're such assholes. I was telling that girl, too. I said, I found out the lady that was using my insurance was Dave's girlfriend from before. She ran up like $50,000 to $100,000. of co-pays. And there was rumors of him cheating on me the first year. He kept denying it and all this other stuff. And I said, here, my whole marriage is a scam between him and his girlfriend from before so she can run up all those medical bills. I said, and these idiots were even saying they paid off a dirty doctor from before to write you up. You were insane. I said, it's mwah, 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 mwah. That's all I hear is mwah. Stuff people can never do. You have to stay in a state hospital. State hospital gets a hold of the court system. Set it up with the judge to give you a competency hearing where you get a guardian, a social worker, and you're placed on disability. I said I would own that doctor for fraud. It's not curable. It's right on Google. Mental illness and mental insanity is not curable. You can't say somebody has it and they're fine. Because that's lies and it's fraud. And I would own them. Own them. I said, this is a retirement plan. I'd sue him for the $1 million. She started laughing. I said, and these idiot people trying to say, da 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 da. I said, where they're saying, oh, she was found insane, da 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 da. I said, I was never found insane. I was never in a state hospital. Never had a competency hearing. And even Dave's girlfriend never stayed in a state hospital. Because I would have been called to a competency hearing. And it never happened. Where you get your social worker, your guardian, and you're put on disability. I said, but if these people want to be dumb, they want to say Social Security disability owes me about $500,000 back pay, I'll take it. And then if they want to pay for a nice DSP like me to come over and do my laundry, clean my house, do my cooking, and I get a free maid from the state, I'll take it. I said, it's a retirement plan. She started laughing. I said, if they're going to be dumb, I'm going to be dumb back. She said, I don't blame you. I said, then I'm going to sue the hell out of them. I said, I'm to the point of first and last names. I said, it's also already documented by the police that I was framed before and it was a drug cartel in my home before they seen them. It's also documented and verified it was a medication error that made me sick before. And even another woman was using my insurance. Officer Mark documented. You know, these people are so dumb. They think the police and the FBI are helping them. They're actually that dumb. Where they told Agent John to go up to that church and act up. By the way, Agent John, you weren't supposed to go into the light. You weren't supposed to drink the grape juice. You weren't actually supposed to become one of them. It was supposed to be an act. We're going to put it that way. It's supposed to be an act. To get everyone involved. I like my informant money. They can't do a thing. You know, that's where I even told that girl, I said my one ex-daughter-in-law was friends with Dave's girlfriend, my ex-husband. I said, had the kids make up mean games and pretend. Okay, for Auntie Shell and Papa to get the house. The police caught her. I said, they thought they fooled the FBI, and they thought they left. I said, I realized that in 18. Sitting up outside Ravenna, and Dave's accusing me of all these men want me. It's like, there's no men that want me. What are you talking about? And I keep looking at him. He said, you got all those men around you. And I thought, what part of my God, I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right there. Then these men showed up. Why wouldn't you think they're cops? You know, I'm thinking it. I'm not saying it. I'm thinking, what are you doing? And I'm like, Maybe they're just locals. I thought, what is he talking about? They're cops. And I'm looking around as he's rambling, and one of the top lampshades looked a little different. I'm looking around, I'm like, oh my God. He thinks only the cartel's here. He thought he fooled the FBI and police, and they laughed. I had to stop myself from laughing. They all did. Yeah. And I said in a legally bugged house, my grandkids had said they wanted the house for Auntie Shaw and Papa. Grandma needs to get out. And then later on to my granddaughter, Flora, they were making everything up. They were games that pretend laughing. They're documenting games that pretend. I said the police even called Melissa stupid. She actually would make stuff up in front of them. How stupid are you? Well, Melissa's so stupid she made everything up when you were fishing with Dave. She's actually that stupid she didn't check where you were. They call her stupid. Told her how John defended me when I went to him, what on earth is going on? He's like, Mom, I don't know. I told Melissa you're going to be moving out, going through a divorce. She'll just have the kids make up something, but don't worry about it. Nobody can say anything bad about you. And she'll have her church people make up something too, but don't worry about it. Nobody could ever say anything bad about you. It'll just be made up because of the divorce and you're moving out. It's like, well, you shouldn't have said anything till it happened. But I did. And since nobody can say anything bad about you, don't worry about it. I went to Dave to clarify everything. I've never hurt anyone. He said, Karen, you're good to the kids, you're good to the grandkids. You would never hurt anyone. You're good to everyone, no matter who it is. I taped him. So the police and FBI. Totally defending me. Okay? Josh defended me. My whole family did. And I said, I was telling her, I said, the thought of my two older ones being up with Dave and his new girlfriend for her entertainment, to have me killed or harmed. And I said, and them trying to think they can extort money out of people and be human traffickers, I raised them better. I said, my thing is, then put them in jail. I was willing to die to save them, where Dave was threatening to kill them all. Even though I knew the police and FBI were around, I went around taping my own witnesses. In case I died, I wanted to make sure they could get them. And I said I almost died several times. And to find out they were trying to kill me for Dave's girlfriend. Huh? They were in it with him? And then having the cartel drug, beat, and rape me? Drug me for fake confessions or use a voice alternator? Photoshopping, washing, this whole thing's asinine. Asinine. If they're going to be human traffickers, put them in jail. I raised them better. They should have been like Danny and Jen. We want nothing to do with this. Nothing. Nobody can legally touch my money. This is where it's even stupid. Being an FBI informant, I can't be processed. I can't. I have an immunity from the government for working this case. For the rest of my life. Can't get out like the prosecutor's office said. I'm in limbo. Like they said, Will set it up that no one would ever touch her again in her life after what those people did. Did he forget to tell you? Aw. The money's for people in immunity from the government in protected custody for helping work a case and further participation. They can never be processed. Nothing. They can never touch my money. Yeah, these people are dumb. FBI would like my money. We all know. They went in and told you. They already knew. We know John, as an act agent, John went up and told on that church. Told over 300 people at that church alone. If he met with all of them, it'd be over 1,000. Everybody already knew before he talked to me, bullied me on a recorded line, confessed he talked to all of them. made me beg for my life, and then listed me for money immunity. And we all know he don't have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. He's only a higher police officer. He was only bullying me, and he was bullshitting the idiots, trying to scam them so he could get them and their drug connections and everybody involved. It was a big bad drug cartel, or they would have went to jail the first day. When are you going to put the people that hired him in jail? Where Dixie ratted out Melissa, she was part of hiring the Florida drug cartel to help me drug being raped. They can't get away with this. Running drug scams. Having drug cartel guys say that you're a doctor from before and they were never the person's doctor and they don't even know who they are. Running drug scams on people. Photoshopping and washing fake sodium pentothal reports. I'd like my money. My grandson, Daniel, well, all of them, well, Daniel and Tyler were happy 10-year-olds, in your face, so excited. Hey, Grandma, this. Hey, Papa, that. Did you know this? Did you know that? Can we go here? Can we go there? Normal 10-year-olds. My other one's happy, loud, in your face. In the last 6 years, I wasn't around a lot of times. I always told them I was working. Couldn't actually say, I've been helping the FBI with a case. Dad hired the drug cartel. I almost got shot in the head driving the other day. Or at a hide on a shooting night and Papa helped kill 2 people. Phase 6 stalkers. Almost shot in the head driving. Drugged. The reason why I lost 70 pounds, they were drugging the hell out of me. And human trafficking me. Have strangers rape me. Raped and tortured. Stabbed in the neck, bashed in the head, beaten, raped, and left for dead. Couldn't actually say that one. Grandma was working. Or, how was your day? Well, how was yours? Let's not talk about mine. Let's talk about yours. Or having to recover from the extent of the massive injuries I have. Which we need to talk, FBI agent John, about paying your civilian employees. You need to do it on a more timely manner. And we need to talk about your unsafe work conditions. I need a new social, because we all know the cartel has it. Which is something I went to get my name changed to my new married name. Letting go of any kind of independence is hard for me. Very hard. But then I thought I need to be like that one part of the Texas group that was laughing when Dave fled the country. The people he hired actually turned on him. It's finally got funny. Dave's gone forever. It's actually got funny. Dave's gone forever. Nobody can say a word to Karen. It's actually got funny. And I thought, Karen Hall don't need to exist anymore. Dave doesn't need to be gone forever. I can change my notary into my new married name and everything else. Every residue of him needs to be gone forever. I need a new social. We all know the cartel has it. A safer place for me and my husband. New phone and car not bugged by the cartel. We need to arrest these crazy fault people. They think that they can hire the Florida drug cartel to drug somebody for a fake confession. Photoshop washing and drug scam from the drug cartel. Have one of the drug cartel guys either pretend to be a doctor, just say they're a doctor, or a doctor that works for them. run a drug scam on somebody and the person's never even met them. You need to get them. I'm done playing with the dumb people. I don't like playing with dumb people because they don't learn. My father always had a saying, you can never fix stupid. People that are stupid are willingly ignorant, and because they are willingly ignorant, they choose to act that way. And since they choose to act that way, you cannot fix it or teach them anything because they're willingly ignorant and stupid. They choose to be stupid. They, just like these people lied, they had a judge sign a court order that they get all my money. There's no such thing. The 7th Amendment in the Constitution, it makes it illegal for a judge to sign everything over. It has to be done by a jury trial. 14th Amendment, no money or assets can be seized by due process of the law. Just like these idiot people saying that they have my medical records, they can never have them. They go to jail if they have them. And any doctor that got it for them will go to jail for HIPAA. They're not admissible because they're underneath the Act of Privacy. And half my medical records are some ladies, which is found out was Dave's girlfriend from before. And that woman with Harry Carey. I told you I argued with Alton Hospital. I want to talk about your stay here. I said I haven't stayed in your hospital in years. You see, Dr. So-and-so. Never heard of him. Tell him about this lady running up all kinds of bills. Well, we sat and talked. I said, ma'am, I told you it's some other woman. Using my insurance, I've never met you. You said you have 2 little girls. I have 3 boys. There was rumors of him cheating. My brother knew of her, my mom, everybody at the factory. I had to set white round woman. Showed up within the first year of my marriage. Dave denied her, of course, that they were all lying on him, trying to break us up. Then my insurance is getting used. Bills, hospital stays, procedures. Back then you didn't have to show ID for nothing. You just went in and filled it out. If you didn't have your insurance card, you called it in later. You never proved one time who you were. The only time I actually had to prove who I was for the fentanyl patches. I could get Vicodins when I was in a lot of pain. Didn't have to show ID at Walgreens. But when you got up to fentanyl, you had to show ID. But even today, I can go through Walgreens, give them my name and address, they'll hand you my prescriptions. They don't even ask for ID. Ever. I found out she was getting my pain medicine filled before me. I had to call the doctor and tell them they had to call me in different strengths. And I pay out of pocket. She ran up probably $50,000 to $100,000 in co-pays. Like I said, my brother knew of her, my mom, every union up. Kay McMillan threatened to put him in jail for identity fraud and insurance fraud. He kept saying, some crazy lady stole your identity, Karen. They could put me in jail if we don't pay those. I never cheat on you. Yes, he did. And he was suckering me the whole time. On April 26, 25, after work, we went with Danny and Jen to Outback. A lady walked by and said she's out to eat with the family that wouldn't betray her. She's doing better now that she's found out her whole marriage was a scam. This whole thing is heart-wrenching. It feels like my stomach and my heart's clenched. I'd like my money. Daniel and Tyler, where they were happy, loud in your face. Dave and I were like second parents. We're always picking them up for school, taking them places, taking them out. Danny and Jen were always over at our house, or we were over there. We're only a mile away from each other. We're only like 3 miles from Josh, and they come over a lot too. Okay? They'd sit around playing cards. We'd have cookouts. I'd make spaghetti. Some kind of dinner, and everybody sit around laughing, talking with each other. I loved it. had a big family, close. We were always going out to eat with Danny and Jen and the kids, and sometimes Josh and the girls would show up. And we would have this big, huge family. Birthdays, holidays together. It was wonderful. And then we'd even do something at least one time a week, if not, well, the kids more, 3 to 5. Have them over, go pick them up, just take them out for ice cream. Take them through McDonald's, pick them up from school, help them do their homework till they got off work. We had this wonderful, close family. And Dave didn't want any of it. Then he should have just left. If these people wouldn't have got involved, he would have paid a little more alimony. I would have been remarried years ago. He'd still had his house. He wouldn't have had to flee the country. And the kids still would have had both grandparents. But Daniel and Tyler sat in a room. Jen's mom and dad had died. Dave fled the country, and his whole world is gone. He was handling it by not bathing. He doesn't look like he's eating. Carl and I have been picking him up. He's doing better at times. Talking more words happy loud in your face. Can hardly get him to talk. He doesn't cut his nails. Doesn't brush his teeth. I need the money. More likely, I'm going to end up paying for an oral surgeon to put him to sleep. He's going to probably need a lot of crowns. A lot of his teeth are bad. He didn't even brush his teeth for over 2 weeks. He just exists. He goes to school and comes home. Sits in his room. The kid that was loud, happy in your face. It's sad that the cartel can destroy so many lives. All for Dave's girlfriend. And they broke up since I moved out. It wasn't fun for her anymore. And Bill, they already hired the Florida drug cartel. They already tried to kill me before. And for you to run a scam to join them, you're the most stupidest criminal in the world. Where the FBI calls you dumb, you're probably going to hit the top 10 dumbest criminals. Breaking every law that can't be broke. You're that dumb. Do you not know what Google is? I can debunk everything you do in a matter of seconds. It's called Google. Comes up with the laws why you can't do it. You are one of the most stupidest, dumbest criminals in the world. I'm surprised with all the cartel guys where they showed up and bragged who they were for, what crimes they were doing under police surveillance. Thousands. Saved hundreds of people they did take. And because of your scam, all those people went to jail because you're that stupid. Who'd want you on their team? You're too dumb to keep around your liability. They confronted him in January to, I think, April of 19. Minerva and McDonald's on a Sunday morning for 10 o'clock that he walked in with the Freemasons. She won't even look at you, Bill. You tell everybody you like her, have people all around saying do stuff to her. She won't even look at you. You paid how many hundreds of thousands of dollars already? Thought, no, I won't look at him. People have been saying he's been paying for this. People bashing on my head, beating, raping me, leaving me for dead, trying to shoot me, driving. No, I won't look at you. In the summer of 19, I was in Perry Township doing my laundry. This older lady comes up, sits down next to me. She said, my son Will's getting married. I'm like, oh. And you want to see a picture? I thought, this is weird. And she's showing me how she looks in her bridal shower. He found a young blonde girl. I said, they all do. Okay? What's really not funny, within a month or so, his wife and her friends start following me and harassing me. In 21, they had already confessed to drugging me and Tommy say it before, photoshopping that shower scene in the other room. They had framed me. You name it, okay? It's all out, okay? An Asian lady said that her husband died. And she keeps showing up. I'm desperate to get help. I wrote up everything, all my notes. I went to take it to the Belden FBI office. I pull in, and I can't get my legs to move. I couldn't move. I literally couldn't move. The one guy that tortured me, July to September 19, midnight to 3. They sold videos of it. Faith Family Church usher yelled at him in front of 1,000 people for raping me. Over 100 people, 60 to 100 people have said something to me about seeing the tape of the rape and torture. All I kept thinking is he told everybody he was an FBI agent. What if he's in there? I won't make it out alive. I couldn't move. I literally couldn't move. I laid my head down on my steering wheel, did a whole testimony. Lifted my head and started my car and put it in gear. And I went to the post office to mail it. I walked in and there's people in there. Lady looked over, we all know what you lived through. You couldn't go in that office. And right in front of me is Bill's wife on the phone. Honey, these people need to go to jail for this. I thought, yes, you do. I go out to the car and I smoked a cigarette until they left. Mailed it. In February of 22, or March, I am so desperate for help. I thought, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to go in there. I made myself go in. And 2 guys walked by and they were talking, and they worked my case. They were the young guys that were kind of sort of remind you of Joshy. Walked by. They'll never say a word to her after what those people did, I know. Come on. And they walked in the back. I thought you were cops, you're feds. And I met with this lady and this guy. And they tried to act dumb. But there was people in the hallway talking about the case. It's like, don't they talk to you? What's wrong with you? Well, I had to go to work that night. And I worked out in the edge of Navarre. And the next door neighbor to where I was working on Chocolate Church Road, she had to log into the case. I go to throw the trash outside, and she said when she left the office, they told me to watch her. And she was talking to them. And she was the one that they told her that Pete ordered everything to be drugged, photoshopped, and made up on me. Okay. Stark County Sheriff's worked my case at Faith Family Church in uniform because they sold the log in there. A lot of people have it. The Florida drug cartel was there. They were selling the log, and Michelle was there, and they told people they were from Florida and they were for Judge Peters. And they were the ones doing it to me before and were hurting me. The guy that raped and tortured me was there and told everybody he was an FBI agent. Okay? And when they raped and tortured me July to September 1993. After that, like 2 weeks later, when I went to go to church, I went to Macy's to walk around. He was there. Got away from him and went on to church. He comes in front of 1,000 people and arrests that whore. Screams it. Young usher with black hair and glasses wouldn't have it. Screamed at him, what you did was considered rape. You leave her alone. They yell about Dave and everything else. And I sit down crying. Over 10 aisles of people are looking at me and him. And I run out of that church crying. I was warned at Barry Cheese for women in the main room. Keith said, if you open your mouth again, he'll do it to you again. I was warned to stay quiet. It took me over a year to get enough courage to go up to the Ravenna courthouse. Went up, and I know some of the guys eat in the restaurants and around the courthouse. And I went up, pulled up, called. My sister went through things, got off the phone, and two of the guys walked up to the car, looked at me, looked at them. Where's that idiot over the house? I go in, and the nice Ravenna officer with gray hair and mustache and dandruff usually says, hi, sweetie. We'll have the boys looking into it if I say something out in the car, so I'm not seen talking to him. This time I looked panicked, and I wanted to speak to Judge Ludick, and he was busy. And I went to leave. He wouldn't let me leave, and he made me talk to Abigail. And that's when the guy showed up with the file. I'm here for carrying around the house. Walked off with the lady officers. FBI case. Where the police said, you're an FBI informant. Don't ever forget. We don't care if they deny you. You're still an FBI informant. Times, dates, witnesses for them to pull the evidence. You're an FBI informant. Don't ever forget who you are. Like my friend from the prosecutor's office, Walter, you can't get out until the FBI puts you in another witness protection program. You'll be an informant for life. He opened a threat and attempt to life case with an informant case. Get the money for risking your life to get them information. Karen, you don't realize you're in a witness protection program. And until the FBI puts you in another witness protection program, you'll stay an informant for life. You'll have to be in protective custody the rest of your life. These people actually try to kill you, and they could wait and try to kill you again. And you get the money for risking your life, and only risking your life, to get them information. And the government owes you for the rest of your life. They cannot withhold it. They cannot misdirect it. That agent can't ask you to stay quiet. It takes a judge in a jury trial. Due to the freedom of speech, he's only a hired police officer. I said he already confessed. He told him was seen by hundreds telling him. He can't tell you, but because of the freedom of speech, you can tell whoever you want. He can't say a word. He said he was only bullying you for these people to get away with it. That's it. He was just bullying you. He can't make up his own rules. No judge could sign it. It's guidelines. It's for risking your life to get them information only. And you'll get the money the rest of your life for that. He didn't stop it from coming in. That's what a criminal attorney said. And the police I talked to. Police saw this area, want to know why the police didn't arrest him. See, that's where he has to just be bullshitting these people like those ladies said they were to get them. Because otherwise the police would arrest him for stealing from the government. I like my informant money, and I like my Turkish Army money. We all know I got your Turkish Army. It's a Michael Peterson step. I need a new social. We all know the cartel has it. I went to change my name at the Social Security office for my marriage license. He went to pull my Social Security number. Funny little thing. Didn't find me at first. And he's like, oh, I found you over here. See, that's where I went to get my concealed carry license. I went to change my address when I first moved out. The one sheriff looked at me, started laughing. Karen, what have you been up to? I said, I'm moved out and I'm going through a divorce. He said, just a divorce? He said, okay, we'll back out of the street. I started laughing. An officer had said, it says Dave's trying to kill you. Like the FBI said on April 19th, 25, in the flea market, the police better not be bad-mouthing her for what's going on. They're just supposed to keep an eye on her if they see her out. They're not, better not be bad-mouthing her with all this. It's a drug scam from the drug dealers that are human trafficking people. It's a freaking drug scam. That's all it is. Anybody want to say anything stupid? My thing is first and last names. That's all I want. First and last names. When the cops think let's get done with you, I'll show you. You want to say you were hurting me? I had to be seen for injuries. Want to say something stupid about a dirty doctor? Oh, that's a retirement plan. First and last names. And don't try to blame the police, because if the police were involved, there's police abuse attorneys. First and last names. Otherwise, you know what you're doing? No, FBI. I know if you didn't want them to know you didn't fall for it, that you were just playing them, and you wanted them to know you were just playing, you wouldn't have said it in public in front of people. Because you know they sold a login. See, the marshals announced their stuff January 20th, 23, that they'd be taking care of him, and 3 weeks later, they arrested 800. Connected into him. We're part of one of the mega cases. I'd like my money, and I'd like a new social. Probably a nicer place to stay, a little more secure, and no button cameras for the cartel to hack into. At least make sure they don't. Car that's not parked by them, and a phone not tapped. We all know they can't steal my money, and they all know they can't get me in trouble. They're stupid. They're stupid, dumb, mean, evil people. The only one they're fooling is herself. I'd like my money. I'm probably going to have to pay for an oral surgeon to knock Daniel out. And he's probably going to need a lot of crowds. And if he doesn't come out of it in the next month or so, with Carl's supposed to start taking him down to the farm to rake straw with him, and get him some fresh air and sunshine, he's going to have to get him counseling. You know, I talked to him about there's bad things that happen. Horrible bad things that happen. And there's nothing you can do about it. They just happen. What you gotta do is just set them off to the side. It's still there. It happened. But you learn to love the people in your life. The ones that are there now. And there'll be so many people coming in and out of your life through the years. But the ones that love you will still be there. And you need to realize that. And life can go on, and it's okay to be happy. Now, I'd like my money. I need to help him. And I earned it. I got you a lot of people. Giving the churches my ass. Didn't mention anything of this craziness. I even got your Turkasami with Michael Peterson bragging he was smuggling oil into the U.S. in November, December 21. He got arrested last year for stealing from his government, like a lady investigator said. They called down there to see if it was legit, where I kept goating him to prove it. So he sent me a letter of allegation. Bill of sales. Large money transfers. They called down to see if it was legit, and it wasn't. They said they'd investigate. Troy Kasami and 50 other people got arrested for stealing from the government. I got a world terrorist arrested. I like my money. Like the guy that broke up with Michelle. The agent that was dating her as a rouge. We all know she got him Troy Kasami arrested. They didn't even pay her for that. I like my money. And when are you going to put the riffraff in jail for the confessions of their crimes? Because if you don't, you know what that creates? Another victim. Because they're just going to keep having people raped and destroyed and murdered by the cartel. I'm going to upload this.